weather discussion video for April 16th, 2022 is lava here. A flash flood watch has been issued for parts of Mississippi and Alabama, and yesterday a pretty interesting storm yesterday evening. We're going to talk about it here and what is happening. First off, we do want to note, where's my pink? There it is. That we have winter storm watches and winter weather advisories for part of the West. This includes Montana, North Dakota, again, Idaho, Oregon, and parts of California. We do have fire conditions for parts of New Mexico and Arizona. Some high wind warnings for southeastern Wyoming. A lot of frost and freeze warnings in effect for parts of the Ohio Valley, including Ohio, parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky, West Virginia. And then some freeze advisories for parts of the NWS in DC, New Jersey. And we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings and a flash flood watch and a flash flood warning here, Arkansas and Mississippi. So that's it for today here. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god, why did it do that? So here we go. So here's a radar scope here. Two severe thunderstorm warnings. Uh, two are Pickens, Goodman, Yazoo City. If you're in those places, Midway, Mississippi, Durrett, Mississippi, West Mississippi, Lexington, Mississippi, Scotland, Mississippi, just north of Canton. If you're in these areas, you need to watch out for 1-inch hail and winds of 60 miles an hour with these storms here. That's the latest going on. Let's check another regions here. I think we still do have that flash flood warning here. It doesn't show on radar scope, sadly. Okay. So the temperatures around the area here, they're 80s in Florida, 70s and 80s in Louisiana, 60s and 70s to 80s in parts of Alabama. We do have almost the whole U.S. besides the very northern parts of Montana and Dakotas and Minnesota, and northern parts of South Dakota are mild. Everywhere else is mild, pretty warm. And of course, the mid to northern states pretty chilly to mild here. Real quick, yesterday, we had a tornado emergency for a decent chunk of Arkansas, for maybe between 45 minutes to an hour or 30 minutes straight, with multiple warnings like these due to a supercell that rode along the warm front. 0 to 3 kilometer shear of 400 to 600 SRH. So yeah, this thing produced a monster hail and apparently a violent tornado. So we'll see what the National Weather Service does with the rating. Here is the weather analysis here, and you can see the remnants of the storms that we're going through earlier. And there were a lot of alpha boundaries, and then that died. And then we have the new watch here. This died. But then a potential new watch could be added in Mississippi, as the Storm Prediction Center has says a watch possible 16%. A few severe gusts, along with marginal hail, may develop over the next few hours. And this was about an hour ago, so potentially we could have a watch pretty soon for parts of central to southern Mississippi. There was the Weather Prediction Center's mesoscale discussion of alpha boundaries with flash flooding potential from eastern Oklahoma to parts of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and very small parts of northeastern Texas. Occasional localized flash flooding is possible for the afternoon. So let's go with risk today. The Storm Prediction Center has usually a slight risk of severe weather from southwestern Alabama towards southern central Mississippi, central to northern Louisiana, and southern to southwestern Arkansas, with tiny portions of northeast Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. We could have a spin up tornado or two. There is a potential of that today. The wind looks like the highest threat, and then the hail looks like the hail has been upgraded now to a 15%. So the average slight risk 15% for both the wind and hail, and of course 1 to 2 spin up tornadoes are not out of the question. There are flash flooding risks today, a marginal risk of flooding for the Florida Panhandle, central to southern Alabama, almost all of Mississippi, two-thirds of Arkansas, small corners of southeast Oklahoma and northeast Texas, and of course central to northern Louisiana. Day two, a slight risk of severe weather from southwestern Alabama again. Just basically the same areas as today, apart from this area. Tornado, a spin up tornado or two possible within that. Wind, and it looks like the hail, there is a sig hail risk. If any of the supercells also rides the warm front, that could help tornado potential, as we saw with last night. So tomorrow may be a day to keep an eye on updrafts and SRH. So a spin up tornado, some large hail, and some wind gusts. And of course, with that same day, a marginal risk of flooding, basically almost for the same areas as today, except for this area not being involved. But a slight risk of flooding now includes parts of Georgia and eastern Alabama. And of course, on day three, only thunderstorm risk for parts of Florida and the Carolinas. So, model fans, real quick, GFS 12Z run. Let's get into it. Let's see if there's another run coming up. Nope, there is not. Okay. So, let's monitor this out. So, So, this is for the Nets a little while. And it looks like the GFS wants multiple low pressures to try to come up here. But so far, almost none of them look severe weather ready. Except for maybe this one, but this one wouldn't. That doesn't look like the biggest severe weather look, unless you wanted a damaging wind event. That doesn't look like a very big severe weather look. However, as we go continue, there's still a lot of questions since this is far out. But if there was a period of severe weather here, I would say this is more of a damaging wind, if anything, because that is not a classic tornado look as I've seen. We'll keep an eye on it, but besides that, a lot of other events look kind of very small. But of course, this is GFS. It could always change here. Let's go to Euro. And let's see if Euro has the same agreement. And Euro, kinda, yeah, Euro also keeps it small, except for the 24th. It tries to get a low pressure into the planes to create maybe a small event. So the models are kind of agreeing that the planes may have some type of thunderstorm potential. We just don't know if it's severe or not. So we will keep an eye on it. It's like 7 to 9 days out, so anything could change. So that is it for the short weather discussion video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more latest information, and we'll see you next time.